Okay.
Hi, this is Rob with SkidSteerSolutions.com, and I'm here with the new Arrowhead R65S.
Wait, let's move that plywood over.
Hi, my name is Rob from SkidSteerSolutions.com. My name is Rob from SkidSteerSolutions. Rob from SkidSteerSolutions.com. Here to introduce to you our two most popular brand of over-the-tire tracks. Here to demonstrate to you how we do a water line using a Bradco trencher. Disconnecting your implement is just a couple steps, and I'll demonstrate that right here. We introduced this over 10 years ago. It's very, very popular among landscapers, ranchers, homeowners. I've always been kind of a hands-on guy when it comes to everything that I do. So from the time I was 10 years old, my dad gave me a couple of lawnmowers. He said, you fix one, you can keep the other one and sell it. So I did. I got them both going, and I turned around and sold that first one for $25, and that's like 1972. And I go, holy cow, I made $25. That's amazing. What got me into the world of compact equipment was a very interesting story. I built a house and hired somebody to do the groundwork. I went on a camping trip with some people. They told me I should buy a Bobcat. I was like, what the heck's a Bobcat? So I thought, oh, okay, fine. So I went and looked and found an old Bobcat. It was a model 642. I got my machine stuck in the first 15 minutes it was here on the property. And that's actually what led me to start my own attachment company. I didn't mean to do that. I just have a bunch of buddies I ride dirt bikes with that are welders, and they said they could hook me up with a few things. So we got a set of tracks made up, and I got unstuck, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people could use something like this. There was no internet really that was popular back then, so I used to put them in the local newspaper and in the heavy equipment trader and just sell them up and down the west coast here. I think I sold 6 sets of tracks the first year, and then the next year was like 25 sets. Then the next thing was that backhoe. I needed a backhoe, so we designed a backhoe. Same thing, I thought, geez, there's gotta be a lot of people that could use this. Then I needed an auger, a tree spade, and then the 3-point attachment. And the 3-point attachment was probably something that really gave us a name. So how did loader tracks come online? So actually, there was a predecessor to that called BobcatTracks.com. And Bobcat did not like me using their name in my URL. So I came up with LoaderTracks.com. And Loader Tracks was only for a couple of years because I no sooner got that up and going, thinking I was only gonna have the tracks. Next thing I know, I've got a backhoe, and then I've got an auger, and I've got a tree spade, and I've got 3-point, and it kind of doesn't go with Loader Tracks. So I knew I had to come up with something else. And what I noticed was that people always called me for advice. Lots of times I didn't even have a product for them. I would send them somewhere else. So I always thought, oh, well, people are calling in and they're looking for solutions all the time. Let's call it Skid Steer Solutions. Again, not realizing one day we would branch out into telehandler and excavator attachments. Once we went to Skid Steer Solutions, and we had mostly all of our own product on there, but then we started adding other manufacturers. So then people would always go, well, what attachment is this? And you go, oh, it's Bradco. What attachment is this? Oh, it's FFC. They'd get to our attachments, and they'd go, well, what attachment is that? And I go, oh, well, that's just Skid Steer Solutions. And they go, well, you have your own brand? And I always thought of Skid Steer Solutions as a brand, but actually Skid Steer Solutions was seen as a kind of a marketing company, kind of like Amazon. So I came out with the Terra name. And from then on, everything that we manufactured or was subcontracted to us as manufactured, we gave that the Terra name. Anything that has the Terra name on it, we do the highest quality possible. We always knew that we're competing against these huge corporations, and there's no possible way we can be the cheapest. So let's just try and be the best.
Who is Craig Ireland?
You want the whole story? So when I first got this started, I also got into a little bit of real estate. So I bought a fourplex, and this fellow and his soon-to-be bride came along, and they wanted to rent one of the suites. Okay, so fine. I rented him the suite. A month later, he said, my job, it never came through, and I'm wondering if I could work for you and you know, just to pay off the rent. So I'm just sitting there looking, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So, all right, fine. So I had a bunch of odd jobs for him. And by then the shop was built, so I asked him if he wanted to be my warehouseman. So he helped me set up all the racking, and we brought in the first inventory. We did one of our first offshore containers at that time, and learned all about importing, and it was quite the experience. And yeah, so we would work out here, and we did that for the first few years. I was also working on a side project, which was Skid Steer Genius. And what that was a company that does all the electronics and harnesses for the attachments. I'd always done all that myself. I thought I always did a better job than most of the manufacturers did. Well, it got to the point where somebody had posted my cell phone number on heavy equipment forums. Next thing you know, my phone is just ringing off the hook, and I'm trying to figure out, how do you know I even have harnesses here? So I brought Craig in as a partner, and that's kind of what Craig's managing now. He no longer works with Solutions. He kind of helps us out here and there, but he works mostly with Skid Steer Genius now. So with that said, a new company was born, and that was Skid Steer Genius.